They must have exhibited those poor wretches in these cages and presented them as being dangerous. Bearded lady? This large, empty aquarium held the fair's main attraction. Be careful of those boxes. They are balanced, one on top of the other. It would take very little to knock them over. The mermaid, Poseidon's daughter. I suppose it was on this small stage that the monsters were presented to the public. Ah, here's something interesting. Hans's diary. What a dreadful diary. That Hans is the only real monster ever to have frequented this attraction. The bearded lady kept the key to this exhibition. Interesting. People must have been locked up in here, and they are certain to have been mistreated. This cage is still occupied, not by one of the monsters, but by a poor man. He's still alive, but he's barely human now. Moriarty must have tested his poison on this poor fellow. If he was freed, he would leap at the throat of the first person he saw. I could easily open the cage by raising the door, but that poor man would leap on me immediately. I wonder what this machinery is used for. A rail system is fixed to the ceiling, and a hook is hanging from it. It must be used for moving heavy and bulky objects. Thanks to this mechanism, the hook can slide along the rail to be positioned wherever needed. The crank is in place. The hook is above the cage of this poor wretch. I need something. There, the rope is in place. This way I can open the poor fellow's cage from the outside without taking any risks. The cage is held shut with this bar. It only needs to be pulled away to open it. There's something interesting here. Here's what I've been looking for. The trap is in place. Now I only need to get the guard to go inside the freak show. guard must have been warned. I need to get out of here. The guard is inside. I must close the door quickly. Closed. I must find a way of neutralizing the guard inside. Well, I'll be leaving you. I'm sure you have a great many things to do. But what have we got here?
Ah, there you are, Holmes. Did you have any problems?
None, apart from a few small things. What have you found out about this warehouse?
Prince Woodville's soup is loaded and contaminated by hands.
And in the direction of Whitechapel. Watson, in a few hours, Moriarty will have at his disposal a formidable army, more powerful and more terrible than anything that has ever existed.
But what?
The soup is destined for a poverty-stricken, starving population who have been conditioned for months against the ruling powers. Moriarty won't have any trouble in sending thousands of raving mad people to ravage the city, sowing death and destruction. No force will be able to resist them, not the police, not even the army. A perfect army, knowing neither fear nor pity. A tidal wave of humanity which will cover London and will fall away again, leaving a city of desolation behind it.
What horror! And the chaos will only make Moriarty's coup d'etat even easier. But how will he guard himself against this bloodthirsty crowd?
The chaos will only last for the time he needs.
You mean to say
that these poor wretches will all die 48 hours after ingesting the soup, according to our good Dr. Shielman. So the victims will be joined by their executioners, an immense mass murder, what Moriarty would call clearing up after work, no doubt. Good. Have you found a way of stopping Hunter's process?
Yes, I think so. If we can weaken the reservoir's feet with the explosives, for example, it will collapse and take the building down with it.
Good work.
What are you looking at?
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
Never. Look, Holmes, there appears to be some sort of control panel.
With an antenna, whatever its purpose might be. We aren't alone. We had best be careful.
Holmes, our priority now is to blow up the tank in the factory to stop the distribution of the soup.
Of course, Watson. Telephone line. It goes to the haunted house. It seems that this window is more vulnerable than the main door.
I think it is too high. It's protected by bars with a closed window behind it.
I can hear naught.
Holmes!
Of course, Watson.
These caravans must be inhabited. Look, there is smoke coming out of one of them.
This ladder is only held back by a bolt.
Look, Holmes, the three Russian brothers.
With a coal stove and dynamite.
What should we do next, Holmes?
And then the dynamite would be very useful for blowing up the tank.
Good idea. But in order that we can get it, we'll have to get them out of there without their knowing we are here. The best thing to do is to carry on exploring this place, Holmes.
There is no one here, and nothing very interesting. This ladder is only held back by a bolt. An international anarchist's manifesto written in several languages. A metal plate, very solid. A wanted poster in Russian, with the portraits of the three brothers on it. It is the chimney pipe. It has been cut. Interesting. This stall is a washroom. I can see water basins inside. The door can be blocked from the outside. Interesting. Apparently, they are more interested in games than in cleanliness. Gallons of vodka. Apparently, they are... Apparently...
Holmes, our priority now is to blow up the...
effective. I pity the people who must have risked their lives in this attraction.
This place must have been magnificent.
Shh. Watson, look, on the stage. Prince Woodville.
And it is with an immense pride that I take possession of the attributes of the crown and swear in front of you to serve my people with... Gentlemen, who are you? I don't believe I know you.
Not as yet, Your Royal Highness, but I am overjoyed that you are familiar with the crowning ceremony.
Of course. A good king should know it.
That makes my duty so very much easier. Let me introduce myself. My name is Howard Sawbury, and I am in charge of the aforementioned protocol and the master of ceremonial events at Buckingham Palace.
Yes, and I'm Sir John Cannard, in charge of the peacocks in the royal gardens.
Congratulations, Sir John. Excellent imagination.
I am pleased to meet you, gentlemen, but what brings you here?
Do you mean to say that no one has informed you? Have you not been in the city? It is Queen Victoria, of course. She has been dethroned.
Really? So soon? According to my special advisor, Professor Moriarty, that should not take place until a few days from now.
The people have decided otherwise, sir, and now they're calling for their new sovereign, the benevolent, most understanding Prince Woodville.
Ah, gentlemen, you bring me great news. My good people have carried out their duty. I can finally take my rightful place, and happily before the bombs detonated.
Actually, sir, we're here to warn you that you are in grave danger.
What do you mean?
Among your close advisors, I regret there are traitors who are already plotting against you. We have reliable information that these terrorists are part of an international anarchist network, and...
Ah, gentlemen, I know who you are talking about. I'm sure you mean the strange gentleman employed by Professor Moriarty. Asians or,
Russians, sir.
Whatever. These men must be stopped before their bombs explode.
Their bombs?
Yes, Sir John. Bombs placed all over London. I was not at all fond of the idea, but Professor Moriarty was quite adamant.
Do you know where these bombs are precisely?
Of course not. But I do know that those anarchists created their exploding devices here.
You must tell us everything that you know about the bombs, sir.
Why should I? You're not a pyrotechnist, are you? I must speak urgently with Professor Moriarty.
Sir, these men, the Russian anarchists, I heard them plotting against you. They want to blow up the theater, and you with it.
That is madness. Why would they do that?
Tell us everything that you know about the bombs, for we must defuse the one that is hidden here.
I have not moved from here since I arrived, and no one apart from you has entered the theater. You are lying, or you are their accomplices.
We most certainly are not.
That is enough. Leave me.
They are dangerous anarchists who have committed murderous acts in their own country against the Tsar's line.
That is impossible. The professor assured me of their loyalty.
Moriarty does not require you anymore, sir. He does not wish to give you the throne. He desires it for himself.
The devil.
Sir, we are going to help you. You must tell us where the bombs are planted. The people will never forget a sovereign who began his reign by saving his subjects from such atrocities.
I confess that I do not know where they are. But surely the Russian anarchists must know.
What do the bombs look like?
They appear very complicated. It is impossible to defuse them. I remember that they were put together here, in a wooden stall between two tents, next to the Russian caravans. They were the only ones who had a key, besides that traitor Moriarty, of course.
We're going to try to open that stall.
Wait, I demand an explanation. If everyone is plotting against me, then how do I know that you are not also party to the plot?
But we...
Bring me Professor Moriarty, Mr. Sawbury, without delay. Sir John will remain here with me.
I should be able to remove the prince without endangering Watson's life. I should be able to remove the prince
To be a king means also to be prudent. And that is why I prefer to have you here as a reserve. You are my guarantee.
I understand, sir. But in return, you must understand that this places me in a somewhat disagreeable situation.
Yes, I understand. But the reasons of the state
Are unfathomable, I know. And I came here to render you a service.
Come now. Let us be
These
serious
tangled
for one
ropes
moment.
are holding
What could a
back the
peacock trainer
curtains.
possibly do for me?
You underestimate not...
He is not moving. He appears to have passed out.
But he could come around at any moment and sound the alarm.
Yes, before leaving the theatre, we must make certain that that does not happen.
Not so long ago, those words coming from you would have frozen my blood.
Rest assured, my friend, that Sherlock Holmes no longer exists. Get rid of him now. There is a label underneath this lever. Magician's Trap Door, middle of the stage, exactly where the prince is standing. Hey, presto, it's magic. No more paranoid prince.
Well done, Holmes. Look, Holmes, Prince Woodville lost his ring during the fight.
There is an enormous diamond in the middle of this ring. I will give it to the police later. This magician has a leather belt, very solid. There is a small bag attached to it. Watson, the situation is getting worse. It is no longer a question of simply blowing up the tank, but rather of saving London from a series of attacks. The Russian anarchists construct their bombs here. They must know what has been targeted.